Welcome to Simply Living It. Today I'm in a little bit different of a setting. I need to get some bread going for dinner tonight. It is October 2nd. Fall is in full swing. I need to make some bread to go with soup. I haven't decided if I'm going to do ham and potato soup or if I'm going to make stew. If you're new to my channel, my name's Jamie. I share homeschooling encouragement in your faith journey, your walk with the Lord. I share curriculum that we use over the years. I share you get the gist. Homeschooling, mom life, encouragement. That is my heart behind this space at Simply Living It. It will be 7 years. 7 years I will have been sharing on YouTube in January, the end of January. So it's been a wild ride, and sometimes I pump out the videos. In the very beginning I did. I pumped out videos like nobody's business, and I learned. I'm a slow learner, and it took me about 5 years to figure out that that is not the purpose of this channel and of this space. It is not to pump out content to just push and push and push and strive. This is different around here, and what I share comes out of an abundance. It comes from overflow. The recipe saved to my phone. You're just joining me in my kitchen really quick while I get this bread started, and then it has to sit for 10 minutes and let the yeast get nice and fluffy and active. And so I figured that would be the perfect time to sit down and chat with you guys. Life around here has been good. September kicks off hunting season for us, so it's always a wonderful month, but we spend a lot of our time in the mountains, which is my favorite. So that's what has been going on. Like, we got settled in with a routine in our homeschool. We started in August back at homeschool for the year. I'm homeschooling a 10th grader and also a 7th grader this year. It's been sweet, it's been intentional, it's been slower, if that makes sense, which I'm sure it does, because obviously there are no longer 3, there are now 2. I'm homeschooling 2. So it's been slower, which has been different. Our routine and flow in our home just looks different. It's been a good adjustment. It's been a good shift. We have nestled into all things homeschooling. We're well into co-op now. I think we're about 6 weeks in. So we're about halfway through. We are part of a co-op. I get so many questions on our homeschool co-op, so I'm just gonna take a second to answer them. This is just gonna be kind of a chatty video. Homeschool co-op. Guys, I've shared before where there are seasons for everything. Like, I talk about that. We know that. We know that in nature, in creation. We know that to be true. There are seasons, always. There are seasons for things to be a yes and seasons for things to be a no. And with our homeschool co-op, if you go back long enough in my videos, I shared a video where I was just telling you all, like, we quit co-op. We couldn't do it anymore. And this was because my kids were younger. Co-op was still a blessing, but I was struggling nestling into a routine and a rhythm. And I was surrounded, like, praise God for this, by other women who homeschooled, but at the same time, it was just too much. There were too many voices, too many sounds, too many things that I was just inundated with that I couldn't even process what our journey and our homeschool style, and I still don't even know 100%. We're just doing it. But anybody else? So grateful for that time that we did co-op before we stepped away, and I'm grateful for the obedience. That's what I'm going to call it, because I believe that the Lord was like, it's time to step away. And I'm so glad that I listened to that and that I heeded that, and that before I joined back, like, we really prayed about it. Like, is this something we want to do? And ever since we've stepped back into it, it has been such a blessing to be part of this co-op. Now that I have high schoolers and older children, you guys, my son did government, he did speech, he did an anatomy and physiology course. They've done so many incredible courses at our co-op that we would not have done. It wouldn't have been the same here in our home. Not to mention field trips and science experiments and lab classes. There's so much. My oldest right now, my middle child, he's doing a speech class, the IEW speech at co-op, and he's also doing a life skills, healthy relationships class. It's incredible. And then for his 3rd hour, he just does math. I just have him do math because the other option was astronomy, and I'm like, we did that. We covered that really well early on in, like, middle school years. So I didn't feel that was right for him, but our co-op, I think, is different than a lot of other co-ops. And we have two 12-week semesters that we end right before Thanksgiving. Like we start Labor Day, we end right before Thanksgiving. We go back in February. Really has been a blessing in our homeschool and in our homeschool journey. And I believe it has also really helped. It's really helped round out our boys' homeschool experience, like as a whole. So two 12-week semesters. It is from 8-ish until 12:30. Then we have cleaning duties and different things. It is held in a local church. It is a homeschool co-op board. Women who kind of open the place, close the place. We have meetings. It's pretty official for good reason, for good measure. We have letters of commitment that we sign and conduct that we sign. We agree to certain things and comply by these things. And all the moms teach, unless you're a nursing mom. And I'm sharing this because I've gotten so many questions about it. And I don't mean to hijack this video with all the co-op talk, but it just came to my mind that I need to address that. Because even on Instagram, I get a lot of questions about it, and I understand because there are so many different types of co-ops. We do not hybrid homeschool. This is a thing, I guess, these days. We don't do that. Our co-op is literally us moms who teach our children meet in a safe place, vote on certain classes for our children, depending on the age group and the class size, and we purchase curriculum and we teach these classes. And that's how it goes. So like, I don't drop my kids off and leave. No, I'm part of it. Like every single mom who has a child enrolled in this co-op is there and held accountable and responsible, and you have a weight there also. We submit 12-week lesson plans, so you will have break by break, like for the board and for other moms to know what you're teaching and what your intentions are. So it's a very closed, tight-knit community, but it's been wonderful. And there are times like the wait list is just overflowing, but there's only so much capacity in this church, so it makes it hard too, where kids graduate or moms move, then that opens up more room for other people. But all that to say, that is how our co-op is kind of lined out. And I think it's different than a lot, but I want to share it because I get questions about it, and I don't want to ignore those questions, because there are a lot of moms who are hungry and are needing something similar to this. And I hope that that little tangent just helps give like light and mind to that. If you have other questions, shoot me an email and we can talk about it, or reach out over on Instagram and we can kind of have a conversation about it, because there are a lot of moms who want to start homeschool co-ops but don't know where to start, don't know how to do it, kind of want like a model for how that looks. And I understand that these co-ops are protected in a lot of different ways for good reason. And so I don't want to give any of that information out, but that's kind of a model of what our homeschool co-op looks like every week. It is one day a week for just a few hours in the morning, and it is our day out, where that counts as our school for the day. Things are going great with co-op. Hunting season, the Lord has been so good, you guys. It is October 2nd. We get a couple weeks to break before general bull season starts, and my boys also have a couple cow tags. That will be later on this month. And then whitetail hunting. So we're hunting clear through the end of the year, really. And we use everything that we harvest. We make our own breakfast sausage, our own jerky, our own pepperoni sticks. We make our own hamburger. Like, that's what we've been doing, is making our own burger. I want to share something with you guys, another little tangent. Where do I start? I have a group of women that we try to meet once a month, and we have prayer together. And one of the mamas has been reading a book, and I wish I could find the name of it, but I don't have it like on my lips or written down anywhere. But this book is all about marriage and being a wife and blessing our husbands. It was really, really sweet, because yesterday was Wednesday, so we had co-op Tuesday, got back from a very long trip hunting, and we were just ready to settle in. So we got our homeschool stuff done in the morning. It was a rainy, gloomy day, and I'm like thinking, what can we do? Like, what can we do that would be helpful? Normally I text my husband. I try to every day, but I'm not perfect at it. But I encourage you, try this and see what the Lord does with this. But I try to text him and just be like, hey, what can I do to help you today? Like, what's something you need of me? What is a way that I could do something that would be a blessing to you? Well, this day specifically, I already knew, because we have a meat cooler, and in the meat cooler are all the quarters of the elk that have been harvested that we need to get cut up so we can have meat. We're out of meat. So my youngest and I go out and we grab these quarters and we bring them in and we start cutting on our meat to process it. We cut everything off first and then get it all put in bags, and then we start the burger. We do all the burger all at once. So my youngest and I spent the afternoon cutting up 3 of the quarters. We had 2 hind quarters and a front, and there are still 4 quarters out there. Well, we did one last night. So we have more to do. Today doesn't allow time for that. However, where I'm going with this, there's a point. So in this whole like season, this advice my friend gave me, reach out to your husband, ask how you can bless him today. Is there something you can do that would be helpful to him? I knew this already. So I've been doing this for about a month. We met in September for prayer. So it's been about a month that I've been trying to be intentional with this. And this time I didn't even ask because I already knew what the answer would be. I knew that that's a burden for him. I knew as soon as that's cut up, we don't have to worry about that and we have meat. It's a blessing, but the weight of getting it cut up, right? Not a burden in a bad way, but like we need to get this done. It's something we need to do. So I knew that's something he's thinking about. He works full time, long, crazy hours. And so I knew that it was a weight. It's a blessing, but it also is something that needs to be done because we choose to process it ourselves and do it the way that we prefer and want it done. It's something that needs done. It's on his list. It would be a blessing to him to come home and be like, wait, what? What were you doing? And this is so funny how it actually worked out. So he comes in the door. My son and I got 3 of them cut up, 3 of the quarters cut up. And I'm in the kitchen making dinner. We got everything cleaned up so you couldn't really tell what was going on. And he came in and in his hand was flowers. And I was like, oh my goodness. Lord, you are so good. My husband has brought me flowers. We've been together for 24 years, married for almost 19. I could count on both hands the time my husband has brought me flowers. And this is not a dig on him at all. Like, that's not where I'm going, but it's just not a normal thing for us. Like, it's just not. This was a wink from the Lord. Like, we took a little extra time to do something that would bless my husband. And he comes home with flowers for me because in me asking him, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? What would make your day today? What would be helpful to you? What would be a blessing to you? It also has sparked that in him. Have our marriage, each other, more at the forefront of our minds throughout our day. And it has been such a blessing. So I encourage you, as you go throughout your day, like I'm so grateful my friend shared that with me, that piece of wisdom, because it is life changing. When you go throughout your day and you're thinking, how can I serve my husband today? Instead of like, what can you do for me? This is what I need, but to like turn it the other way. How can I serve you today? How can I bless you today? What can I do that will be helpful to you? Watch your marriage thrive. Just try it and see what happens. Like, not even looking for anything on the other end, but just keeping your husband at the forefront of your mind, praying for him throughout your day and asking like, what can I do to help you? That was just a sweet little God wink. Him bringing those flowers, it was so special to me to know like, you were thinking about me too. Like, it was beautiful. It was such a beautiful thing. And it seemed so silly and simple to share, but in the form of simply living it and sharing homeschool encouragement, motherhood, life, marriage, all the things, like, I don't know, try that and watch how that blesses your marriage. Like, we had thought about him throughout the day and did something for him. And I had no idea that he was thinking about me in the same sense. And look what God did with that. Like, it's just so sweet. It's so sweet and so intentional, and I love it. So I just want to share that with you guys also, a random thing. The meat is what brought that up, because we were talking about the meat that the Lord has provided for our family. It's been incredible. He's been so good to us. We ran completely out of meat, and it was a rough year as far as hunting goes. It was probably the most difficult year hunting that we've had ever. And my husband and I were actually given the opportunity, the very last chance that we had to go hunting. Some of his friends that he hunts with had left. We were then given the opportunity to go out together, just him and I. And on that hunt, I was actually able to call in the elk that my husband harvested. And it was so cool. It was such a cool experience. It was another just God wink, total blessing from the Lord. And I'm so grateful for that experience that I got to have with him. So that's what we've been doing, hunting, homeschooling, hunting, trying to really see each other as individuals. How can we work together? How can we bless each other? What can I do to help you? Working through that. I've really, really been trying to be better about making good meals for my family. I was in a rut there for a while, just being honest. And so I've really been trying to be intentional about making good meals for my family. Number 4, or is that number 5? Somehow I knew that was gonna happen, you guys. I knew that was gonna happen. The homeschool front for just a minute. More of a recap for the month of September. Things that went well. We did finish our very first read aloud for the year. We read Where the Red Fern Grows. We read this together. I shared this on Instagram. Love this book. At the very end, I was literally like holding back and trying not to bawl my eyes out because I did not remember how sad this was. And when you're a mom, it just hits different. And a mom of boys, it was a lot, but it was beautiful. I almost contemplated skipping the last chapter when it got to the point that I'm like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. But we made it through. It was wonderful. Highly recommend this one. This book was part of a unit study that we did from Prairie and Pine, like a literature study, and highly recommend it. The book we are moving to now, it does not have necessarily a guide with it. I'm sure I could probably find one, but we moved on to Little Britches. And this is by Ralph Moody. Father and I Were Ranchers. This is the book we moved on to now. It has come highly recommended by a lot of other homeschool moms with boys. And so I thought, why not? Let's just try it. My goal for the month of October is to finish this book. Where the Red Fern Grows took us a little bit longer just because we had vacation in there and our schedule was all over the place. So I'm really hoping, my goal is to finish this book by the end of the month. Here's the thing. I do not have my boys take notes when I read out loud. I don't have them do some test online. What I have my boys do is actually write a book summary at the end of each book that we complete. I don't know if there's a movie for this one. I want to find out because our plan is this coming weekend, we're going to have a movie night and watch Where the Red Fern Grows together. But this is the book we're reading through now. So October goals, my goal is to complete this book with my boys. Aside from finishing this book, you guys, I'm going to break this to you. I don't have a huge list of goals for the month of October in our homeschool. I want to continue to be consistent reading God's word with my boys. At the beginning of September, I asked the boys, we had a conversation about like spiritual disciplines and what is something that comes easy for you and what is something that's a little bit more difficult. So it could be like praying, worshiping, it could be reading your Bible. It could be journaling, if journaling is one of your things. I think that is a beautiful thing, and a lot of times I write my prayers out in that way, so I included that. And I just really encouraged my boys to work on that through this last month. And so we will, on Monday, have a discussion about it. How did it go? Did you do better? It was in a form of encouragement to help them press in a little bit further and to create habits out of certain things instead of just coming to me every morning during our homeschool day and us having a conversation about God's word together. I really want them to be diving in on their own, at their level, at their capacity. So kind of talking about that and implementing that in our homeschool, that is one of my goals, is just to continue implementing that and being intentional about those disciplines that we have individually, but also in our homeschool. So being able to be intentional with my boys when I read something. This morning I was talking all about I'm the vine and you are the branches, and going through that and using all the trees around us and using everything we have tangibly that we can see as an exact description and depiction of what the Lord is talking about in that and in their lives and at their capacity, right? The main goal for the month of October is to continue doing what I've always done, to continue being faithful every single day to do what I have. I don't have, this may be surprising to some of you, I don't have a giant list of all these goals that I have for our homeschool. I do when it comes to my daily disciplines, when it comes to our home life, the functionality of it, when it comes to my intentionalities, the things that I'm praying for, upcoming retreat. We have retreat in less than, it's about a month away. There's one spot remaining. One. I cannot even believe it. This is so incredible and so amazing. And my intentionalities with that and the things, like my heart posture towards it and making sure that I am not consuming all the things around me, but I want to consume his word, and I want to consume him and only him. And I want to be so full to overflowing with him to where we go to this retreat and it's just the Lord. So excited about this retreat. I cannot wait. It's going to be wonderful, but I want to be very diligent and intentional with my time, what I'm allowing to come in and what I'm spending my time on. So that's something that I'm shooting for personally. So maybe in our homeschool, continuing to be intentional with our morning time that we have between 8 and noon before my middle child leaves for work. Yes, that is a goal. That is one of my goals, to continue to be intentional with that time like we have been. I believe we've done a really good job so far. I'm leaning toward the side of adding in another unit study, not just a book study or literature study, but adding in something else. I'm not sure what that is yet. I don't know what that's going to be. We're covering history really in depth at co-op this year. And so I do not want to add in any extra history right now. We're also covering geography really heavy at co-op. So I don't want to add in any extra geography, but I'm looking for adding in something else. I don't know what it is yet, but we're working through what we have so far. And my goal is to just continue to be diligent with that. I like to start slower when we start our homeschool year, and then slowly as we get into a rhythm, where time allows, we add something in. I'm not looking to extend our day at all as far as length. We will continue 8 to noon. Seems to be going well so far. My oldest is writing his first speech right now. He's been working through speech and memorization, and he has his first introductory 5-minute speech that he's been writing out that's been taking a lot of his energy, which has been wonderful. It's been really, really cool to get to watch him grow in this way and stretch in this way. So I really don't know what that next thing will be. I really don't. A lot of really awesome, cool things, but my main goal is just keep doing what we've been doing diligently. And then finding whatever that next thing is that we add in. I don't know what that will be. I'm not looking for just fluff, but something. I feel like we have a little bit more time that we could pull in something that would be very rich for our family. I don't want to take any more of your time. I know this has been a rambly video. Again, I encourage you. That wasn't a random thing. I don't think that I shared that. It was random for me. It wasn't part of my video, but I hope it encourages you. That's the point of it. That's the point of this entire channel, is just to encourage you in your journey, to run your race with endurance that the Lord has called you to run. That's why my goals video. Goals, keep doing what I've been doing. And not that I'm doing it perfectly. That's not where I'm coming from, but I'm doing it in a way that has worked for our family for the last month, and month and a half, and I'm not going to change that now. So I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing faithfully and bring in what the Lord leads us and let go of the rest. So I pray that that encourages you, and I'll talk to you very soon.